San Antonio is one of the fastest growing and the largest cities in the entire United States. And it's not just the hot neighborhoods and the hot suburbs that everybody always talks about. There's a lot more to it and a lot more involved whenever you're looking at the city as a whole. Those lists don't accurately factor in the really important things that you, as somebody that's looking at moving here, would potentially be looking at. I've lived here in San Antonio my entire life, and I know this city like the back of my hand. So today we are going to go through a map tour of everything that you need to know about this city, especially if you're looking at moving here. We're going to talk about what it costs, what it's like in these individual areas, and who it's really for. All right, so before we dive into the map for this San Antonio area, let me give you some big picture numbers so you have an idea of what we're looking at here. So San Antonio is the second largest city in the state of Texas, behind only Houston. Our population is 1.54 million people, and that is in the city limits of San Antonio. Now, the San Antonio New Braunfels Metroplex is at 2.8 million residents, and 59% of the people that have moved in this area in the last few years or so have been from out-of-state migration people. If you look at those numbers overall, that's 121,000 people that have come from out-of-state migration. Now let's look at some of the locations compared to everything else in Texas, and you're going to be familiar with some of these things, but just stick with me and we'll kind of get to the meat and the potatoes of this specific video when we're looking at diving into San Antonio specific areas. So as we're looking at this map here as a whole, you can see we're looking at San Antonio right now. So as you zoom out, you can see we're roughly 80 miles or so from Austin, and Austin is just northeast of San Antonio, just right up 35. This is where that huge San Antonio, Austin mega metroplex is expected to be. This entire area between San Antonio and Austin, with New Braunfels and San Marcos being kind of at the hubs there. To the east, you've got Houston, not too bad of a drive, couple hours drive to get down I-10 to get over to Houston, and then further up north, of course, you got Dallas, Fort Worth, a little bit further, four or so hours away from San Antonio. This San Antonio, Houston, Dallas triangle, this is called the Texas Triangle. This is where the majority of the growth is happening in Texas, and for good reason. I mean, if you're in any of these places, it's not that difficult to get from one or the other. Like I said, 3-4 hours drive in a lot of cases to get anywhere you need to be. And it really makes for a prime opportunity for a lot of big businesses to bring more growth to the state of Texas in this Texas Triangle. So when you look at how San Antonio is laid out, you can see we have these specific highway systems, and just like anywhere else, the growth started obviously in the city center and went outwards. Okay, so again, this is very common in most major cities, but in San Antonio specifically, you have downtown San Antonio right in the heart, right? And then you've got 410. That's the big, the kind of inner loop of San Antonio. And anytime you hear me talking in any of the videos about the inner loop or the outer loop, it's 410 and then 1604. 1604 is the big outer loop, kind of goes around even further south. The upper end and kind of the northeast, west side, all that area is essentially what we're looking at is like the outer edges of San Antonio. Now, when you get further south, as you can see, there's 1604 kind of goes way down here and loops around. The south and southeast corners, this is a lot more rural compared to the areas between 410 and 1604 up on the north side. So that development historically has always gone north, right? And so that's why when we talked a lot about this channel, a lot of the growth has started to go south and southeast because there's a lot more open space out there. The big major highways to pay attention to in San Antonio are, of course, the loops, but then you have I-10, which comes from Houston. You can see Seguin over here. We talk about Seguin a lot. It goes straight through Seguin, hits downtown San Antonio, and actually heads up north, going out west over to West Texas and over to El Paso. So it essentially comes in from the east side and then heads up northwest. You've also got 35, which comes from Austin. That's the highway you would take to get up to Dallas, Fort Worth, goes through New Braunfels here, and then comes straight downtown and then keeps going this direction. Okay, so basically cuts San Antonio diagonally, right? And then the next one is 281. 281 goes north and south. 281 turns into 37 as it gets further down and heads down to Corpus Christi. 281 goes up through just past the airport, which is right here in this location. So the airport is right there. 281 runs right past that, goes through downtown, and then heads south down to Corpus Christi. So those are kind of the main big highways that you really got to pay attention to. And then lastly, as far as, kind of a sub-major highway, Highway 90 going out west. This is going out to Castroville. This area, of course, has a ton of growth. This far west side, all right here, is experiencing some of the most prominent growth out of all the different areas of San Antonio. But a lot of that is now going out to Castroville. And you can even see as you zoom in, you've got the river that kind of runs through here. This is the Medina River, but all this farmland here, this is where a lot of those big neighborhoods are starting to go in. That's just where the developers are kind of focusing in on, and that's where a lot of the development is starting to happen right now. Now, we can't talk about the highways without talking about some of the traffic realities of San Antonio. So on average, San Antonians spend about 39 hours a year in traffic, but that is very, very manageable compared to when you look at places like Austin, Dallas, or Houston. Okay, so again, the major, what I would consider congested areas, and again, there's a lot to get into, so we will try to be as quick as we can with these. 410, especially on this kind of north section here, there's lots of traffic there. I mean, 410 everywhere gets pretty congested just because there's so many people that are right there inside that inner loop, and coming in back, headed back home from wherever their job is. 410 is very, very busy a lot of the times. You also have a lot of traffic on 35. A lot of people that are living out northeast, going out towards Church, Cibolo, New Braunfels areas. So especially considering 35 goes straight into downtown and then straight into a lot of this area on the east side where there is a lot of industrial manufacturing, a lot more, big employers in that area. So you have a lot of traffic that comes especially from 35 to, from 410 to 1604 and then further out. But I will say the 1604 35 intersection right here at Live Oak, that's where you're getting a lot of big expansion as far as the 1604 and 35 interchange. They're making some big flyover lanes for those transitions between 35 and going to 1604. So it's going to make the traffic there a lot better in the very near future. And then same thing goes for over here on I-10. So it already did that same kind of flyover interchange development and construction at 281 and 1604 several years ago. And that has made a huge difference right there. And so this intersection right here, you can see when you zoom in, it's got these, you can see some of the construction actually already happening, but it used to be these clover intersection, and that was just a nightmare for a large amount of people going through there. And so they're getting rid of those and making just big flyover lanes. And so you got a lot of traffic there. And then of course, out on the far west side, just because of all these neighborhoods that you can see just everywhere out here, Alamo Ranch area right here. So you're looking at, you got SeaWorld over here too. Let me see, let's see here. So Culebra right here. Culebra is one of the worst areas as far as traffic goes. Petranco's further down. There we go. So Petranco, Culebra, those two areas, especially with all the neighborhoods and everything, really bad traffic going from far west, getting out into town. So just pay attention to that if you're looking out on the far west side. All right, now let's get into each individual area of San Antonio. We're going to start with this northwest side. So northwest is right up here. So we're basically going to be talking about the areas, essentially I-10 right here, and then going west, kind of 1604, this entire area basically right here where I'm circling. So this area includes places like Leon Springs right here, which is a really cool, more rural hill country spot. Lots of stuff right there on the highway, but you get out into some of the what you would consider more prominent, luxury areas. Canyons, the Scenic Loop, the Dominion is right here next to Camp Bullis. You zoom in a little bit, I'll show you some of these spots. So you got the Dominion right here. Okay, so Dominion, super high-end luxury area. And then you've also got over here, you've got the Canyons at Scenic Loop right here, right? So lots of other neighborhoods in between. You've also got Helotes over here. Helotes, great little spot, cool little downtown, Forest Country Store there. This is right on the edge of where you have a lot of those developments. You also have Government Canyon State Park right here, which is a very, very big, huge park for those of you guys that like to do some long distance hiking, some bike riding. You've also got the medical center. So down here near Leon Valley, Leon Valley is its own kind of incorporated town within San Antonio, but medical centers all over here. You can see Methodist Hospital, you can see St. Luke's Baptist, you can see University Hospital. So this is the medical center right here. So if you're going to be working at the medical center, this northwest side is a great spot to look at. Also kind of north central once we get into that. The biggest reason this place is so popular is because of its proximity to a lot of everything that San Antonio is really known for. So again, you've got the shops at La Cantera up here, which is the big major mall in San Antonio. You've also got Fiesta Texas. You've got the Rim up here, which is where the Bass Pro Shops is. You've also got over here, you've got SeaWorld, which is kind of more on the true far west side. Where we at SeaWorld? SeaWorld is right here. So you got SeaWorld down here too. And you've also got up here, You've got University of Texas at San Antonio. You've got lots of the major employers of San Antonio as well. You've got Valero, which is right here. This is their corporate headquarters. You've got USAA, which is further down here. Here we are. Here's USAA right here. Here's their corporate office. And then, of course, you've got the medical center here. Some of the neighborhoods that I've looked at a lot with a lot of people in these areas is, of course, the Davis Ranch out here over in near Government Canyon State Park. So you got Davis Ranch right here, backs up to the state park here. You've got lots of established neighborhoods in and around Helotes. And then you get inside the loop, kind of in between Helotes and the medical center here, Braun Station, Northwest Crossing, Oakland Estates, Babcock North Parkwood. I mean, all this entire area, it's very, very wooded. Okay, so it doesn't feel like you're right in the middle of the city. You can see the dark, how many trees are in these areas too. Even though you have tons of houses, there are lots of big trees, lots of rolling hills. You can't look in some of these new neighborhoods like Davis Ranch or any of those areas out on the far west side and not get an HOA, and the price points too. So when you're looking in town, of course, you're going to have a lot more affordable prices. You're looking around like mid 300s as far as average prices for this kind of general area. Out here, Davis Ranch is a little bit higher. You're looking at mid 350s kind of starting price points, some like closer to 300, but most everything is kind of getting up to the $400,000 or $500,000 range. So you get a lot more affordable stuff kind of in these older established neighborhoods closer into the loop. But as you get north, of course, you've got the Dominion up here. You've got everything kind of in Leon Springs, and then getting up closer to Bernie, River Rock Ranch, Canyons at Scenic Loop. You've got Cross Mountain. You've got Stonewall Ranch. You've got Crown Ridge. These areas are more multi-million dollar, higher end luxury, and not all multi-million. You can find like $600,000-$700,000 homes in those areas, but lots of $1-million estates out there too. And beautiful views, bigger lots, things like that. Now, next up, we're going to talk about the South Side. But before I get into that, let me pause for a quick second, remind you guys that my name is Michael McCall. I run a real estate team here in San Antonio, Texas. This is the Life in SATX home group. We've got some of the best agents, in my opinion. If you're considering moving here, or if you live here and you want to move to a different area, maybe considering selling, we would love to have a conversation with you guys. Feel free to shoot us an email, text, call us anytime. You can also schedule a call with us directly at that link down below in the description. Connects with us directly, so you can talk with myself or somebody on our team and really get the help that you need as far as working towards your goal of finding your next place here in San Antonio. So now, without further ado, now we're going to get into the South Side. Now, the South Side is one of the most undervalued and overlooked places in all of San Antonio. And again, historically, it's just because the growth has gone north, okay? That's where all the new neighborhoods have been. That's where a lot of the developments, as far as shopping and everything else goes, employment opportunities have mostly gone up that way, but there's a lot more happening on the South Side now. So as we zoom in here, you can see we're kind of south of 90, I-10 here. We're getting right to basically the edge of 410. So this entire area out here, I would consider this is all the South Side. Now, obviously over here, more southeast, but this area here is really where we're talking about right now. Now, some of the major things that you'll find down on the south side of San Antonio, one of the biggest, of course, is the Texas A&M University San Antonio campus right here. The first building opened in 2011. So this is a very new campus, but it is already seeing massive growth. You can see their campus size isn't huge. It's not a huge campus, but you look at the space surrounding it, how much ability they have for expansion. And then you've also got expansions in the fact that they're building their, University Health Hospital right here, okay, right on top of the campus. This section right here is going to be a huge medical facility, which is going to bring a lot of employment to the south side of San Antonio. And on top of that, you've got one of the most popular new neighborhoods, Vita, in San Antonio, with luxury homes, as far as from Perry and Highland Homes to more affordable Lennar homes. You've also got lots of other employers out here. So you've got the Toyota facility, where is Toyota out here? The Toyota is, you can see, a little bit further south of A&M San Antonio, but big, huge manufacturing facility out there. So in addition to that Toyota manufacturing plant, you're going to be having the big JCB manufacturing plant right here in this area. They're still working on that. It's scheduled to be open this year, and they're projecting to be building 150 machines per day out of that plant. In addition to all that, you've got the San Antonio Missions National Historical Park, which is over here. So this is part of the mission system. It's right on the San Antonio River. So this is the main park right here. You got Mission San Juan right here as well. So this whole area, of course, is a huge popular spot for people coming to San Antonio. And then, of course, going into like the Alamo and everything that's downtown. Now, when it comes to some of the parks and everything that you've got, so you've got, this big park right here, this big lake. This is Mitchell Lake. Not a lake you can get on, not a lake you can swim in. It's more of like just kind of a natural body of water, just places that you can do bird watching and things like that. But when you look at some of the bigger options, you've got Bronick Lake and Calaveras Lake. So me personally, I've gone fishing out on these places. Now, this area is known for its affordability. You've got a lot of new construction that started going up in this area. I already mentioned Vita over there by A&M San Antonio. Mission Del Lago is another very popular one too. There's a golf course that goes through Mission Del Lago. Very rare for homes around 200,000 or even below to be on a golf course potentially. So you can see it's kind of further away from the actual city part of San Antonio, which kind of stops at 410. It's kind of in this area that I'm going to consider one of the fastest growing places, and it's going to be the next hub as far as growth and development of San Antonio. It's not going to go as fast as Northside did, but it's going to happen. You've also got a lot that's kind of going out on this kind of southeast side, right? So Elmendorf, there's a lot of stuff going up in Elmendorf. You can see some of these developments here. There's a Lennar neighborhood there. There's another one here. You've also got a few that are kind of going up here towards like China Grove and St. Hedwig. This whole area has lots of new neighborhoods that are popping up. So you've got lots of development and all at a very affordable starting price point, a low 200s, even in the 100,000 still for brand new homes in San Antonio. But you've got higher end stuff too in a much more rare situation like Vita, for example. And you've also got some larger acreage properties that are a lot more affordable than say looking at hill country properties. If you're looking at something with a little bit more space for cattle, horses, whatever you want to use it for. Now the south side is way different than the next spot we're talking about, and now we're getting into north central San Antonio. So let's go further up north here. So we're getting past downtown, heading up on this north side right here. So essentially we're looking at everything east of I-10 and kind of right here around 281. I mean, this is kind of like a general north central area, right? This whole area right here, kind of east of 281, I would consider like the northeast side. But we'll talk about Alamo Heights and Terrell Hills just since it's a good spot to talk about them, okay? So Alamo Heights, Terrell Hills, two high-end luxury areas, no doubt about it. The starting price to get in there is really like 500,000, and that's like bare minimum, small house, older house, okay? Most everything there is $600,000+ now, as you zoom in, you can see the proximity to downtown San Antonio. Right here is the Pearl District. Right here is where you've got Bracken Ridge Park Golf Course. Bracken Ridge Park is this whole area. Menke Park right here as well. You got Incarnate Word, so another university, big popular university in San Antonio over here as well. This is one of their football stadiums there. I think that's high school actually. So this is Incarnate Word over here. So University of Incarnate Word right here off of Broadway. Broadway is a very popular spot too. You got a lot of things right here on Broadway going up from the Pearl to Alamo Heights. So we'll hit some of those real quick. So going up, we've got the Deuxium, very popular spot for kids right here. Of course, you got the golf course, Bracken Ridge Golf Course here. You've got tons of good restaurants along Broadway. You've also got, as we kind of zoom in a little bit more, you've got the Whitty Museum right here. Okay, that's a very popular spot. You've got, let's see here, go further up. You got, this is Incarnate Word, all right here. A little bit further north, we're just gonna keep rolling up Broadway here. Right here on the corner is the McNay. Where are we at? McNay. Too close. Here we go. Here's a McNay Art Museum right there as well. So two very popular spots, and now we're basically in Alamo Heights here. So Alamo Heights High School is right here. This is the quarry over here. Very big popular spot right here. Lots of restaurants, shopping, and everything right here. Alamo Heights is this entire area that we're looking at. Terrell Hills over here. Okay, Alamo Heights and Olds Park across the highway on this direction. So you got a lot of stuff going on here. Now as you go further north, so we're gonna hit 410. Okay, and then we're gonna go up north. So right here is the airport, right on the corner of 410 and 281. We've got Castle Hills. So as you're looking on that kind of true north central, this little pie shape right here between 281, 1604, and I-10 and 410. So this whole area, it's very popular because you have a lot. It's very similar like that northwest side, but this is kind of like a different level. Okay, you've got tons of wildlife running through here. You've got lots of big trees. Bigger lots, all custom homes, okay? There's not any cookie cutter new construction in this area at all, okay? There may be, actually, and I take that back, there may be a couple that's kind of up here in this area, closer to the highways, very small neighborhoods, more like, garden home style as far as lots go, but not quite the same. But this entire area is very popular because of all of that. Now, Castle Hill is going to be a little bit more affordable as you get closer into 410. It's just right there on the highway, so it's just made it a little bit more affordable. Some of the older stuff, you do have to pay attention to the foundation issues in this area. But when we're talking about some of the higher end luxury areas, similar to Alamo Heights, Javano Park, okay, you got Hollywood Park, you've got Hill Country Village, Deerfield, all these neighborhoods, you've got all kinds of higher end homes. Okay, overall you've just got some very good custom style homes, a lot more character. This is all serviced by Northside ISD as well. When you're looking at the school ratings, Northside ISD is a pretty good rated school district. Now, when you're looking in these areas to get down into a more affordable price range, Castle Hills is definitely your good starting point. You can get down in the 200s there, but most everything's in the 300s. You're going to need some stuff with a lot of work to get into those $200,000 price range, but it is doable. Now, Chavano Park, this area, minimum $400,000 or $500,000. Most everything's in that $600,000-$700,000 price range, very similar to Alamo Heights. Now, looking in, technically, right? If you look at the Dominion up here, okay, we talked about that for Northwest. It's Northwest, okay? But some of the things we didn't talk about with the Dominion are the price ranges there. It's a guarded, gated neighborhood country club community. It's got golf courses there. It's got acreage lots in addition to, smaller garden home lots, basically 800,000 to 6, 7, 8, 10 million plus in some cases for some of the super high-end hilltop luxury estates at the Dominion, and some of the best views in all of San Antonio. As you drive up 10 going towards Bernie and you look through the Dominion, you can see the hills, you can see those huge houses on the hills, and it's just one of those things that you can't miss it as you're driving past it. So there's lots of things to be said about the Dominion, and it's a very, very popular place for those that are looking at really the pinnacle of luxury for San Antonio. But now, before we get to the northeast side, we're going to go over to the east side real quick and talk briefly about that. So when it comes to the east side, we're looking at areas true east side inside Loop 1604. Okay, we're not talking about the suburbs today. We're talking about in San Antonio. So Converse right here, Kirby, Windcrest is another one, which is very unique, and I'll tell you why here shortly. You've also got Live Oak in this area too. So kind of this area north of 10, inside 1604, outside 410, south of 35. This would be what I would consider like the east side, okay? Now, this east side is more of like the working class military draw as well. So you have Randolph Air Force Base right here, just outside Loop 1604, right here close to Schertz-Cibolo, Universal City as well. Converse is, of course, right across the street from here. Converse, I've recently talked about for all the new construction that it has. Sub-median price homes for overall in San Antonio. 200, 250 is a very common price point in this area. 250 to 300,000. You can start to get stuff that's maybe a little bit more updated, a little bit better condition, but it's a great spot for the starter home for that working class family that just wants to own a home on their own and be in an affordable location. So Converse is a great spot for that. Inside, you're looking at Kirby. You've got all these areas, these big warehouses. You can see this is very industrial right here. Lots of blue collar jobs in this area because of all of the big warehouses and things there. Kirby's right up next to that. And then further up north, again, we'll hit Live Oak here. So this is like right here is where the Forum's at. Talk about it a lot for that northeast side for lots of shopping right here at the Forum. And then Live Oak, you've got IKEA and then a good amount of stuff right in here as well. And then even going up 1604 here too. You've also got a little further north, which is more northeast, Rolling Oaks Mall. So good location for that too. But Live Oak is a really nice spot. Some really cool houses. You can see kind of in this whole general area would be Live Oak. And then as you get more into San Antonio, again, right on 410, you can see all the industrial warehouses in this area. So lots and lots of blue collar jobs. And Windcrest is right here in the heart of that. So Windcrest itself is known, as you can see from this picture here, you see the Christmas lights. That's what Windcrest is known for. Their Christmas light competition that the entire neighborhood puts on every year. Something my family and I go drive through every year, and it is super popular around San Antonio. Windcrest Elementary School is right there in the middle of the neighborhood. They do have a golf course, as you can see. So very popular for retirees. There's some garden home sections of Windcrest. And being right there into San Antonio, being very close to, the base as well. Lots of military that look at Windcrest as well. Now, Windcrest is one of the few areas I would say kind of similar to Live Oak in that they're a little bit higher price point than like say Converse or Kirby is. Kirby, you can get some very, very affordable homes, some in the 100s. So it's a super, super affordable place to live. Windcrest itself, you're looking at $300,000 roughly starting point. Might get some in the upper 200s if they're smaller, maybe a little bit more dated, but you can get $400,000 homes in Windcrest. And it's a nice, good mid-century modern, lots of single story, homes that very unique style for sure. Let's move on to the next one. We're going to go up to the northeast side here. So let's talk about this entire area right here. McAllister Park up to the edge. Basically, you got Stone Oak, Encino Park, all this stuff up here, and kind of going over to this corner where we were just at with Live Oak. So Stone Oak, definitely one of the most popular neighborhoods in all of San Antonio. So we're looking up here. You're looking just north of 1604 and west of 281. So kind of taking a little hitch over there around 281 and north of 1604 to get here, but this is all Stone Oak in this area. We're staying south of Timberwood Park here, so Timberwood Park is getting out of the city limits of San Antonio, so we're kind of focusing in on this area. You've got the JW Marriott over here, which isn't truly part of Stone Oak. It's east of 281. Canyon Springs Golf Club is another great spot up here as well. You see a nice golf course there, and you've also got Sonterra down here as well. Sonterra is more of a luxury neighborhood, gated, guarded in a couple spots. Lots of high-end, different style custom homes as well. Stone Oak is known for having lots of shopping. It also has a good amount of medical facilities as well. So there's a lot of medical employers that are medical people that work in and live in Stone Oak. You can see kind of all of the stuff that's right here on 1604 and 281. And then when you look over here in Encino Park, a little more wooded, a little flatter over here. You can see in some of these spots. And then as you go out this direction, you have the JW Marriott, which is at TPC San Antonio, where they have had PGA Tour events for years there as well. And lots of high-end luxury mixed in with some more affordable stuff, such as, over in Bulverde Village. Really one of the biggest draws for that Stone Oak area, in addition to the types of neighborhoods that you get, is the school districts. So Northeast ISD, Johnson High School, Reagan High School, those are two of the highest rated high schools in the San Antonio area, and brings a lot of people to looking to be moving in this area specifically for their kids to be in these schools. It's easy access to get down into 281 and get to the airport, which is very, very popular. Now, if you look in Thousand Oaks, you're getting even closer, and this area is a lot more affordable. Now, you're not in the Johnson Reagan districts anymore. You're still in Northeast ISD, but different high schools, so different ratings that you can take a look at. Now, as far as looking at churches, Community Bible Church is one of the biggest churches in San Antonio and is probably by far, I would say, the most popular just from people I've talked to. A lot of people go to Community Bible Church, CBC. And one other cool thing that I just have to highlight, which isn't really in San Antonio, it's further out, but Natural Bridge Caverns out here. You got the Natural Bridge Wildlife Ranch as well. Just a really cool spot to go explore. I love going and walking through that cave. I love going out and walking and driving through the wildlife ranch here too. It's, drive-through safari style essentially. You get to get some food, feed the animals, and see everything up close. They'll come up to the car. There's lots of stuff to do, and that's just kind of a highlight I wanted to point out. Now, let's talk about some new construction opportunities. Now, we talked about a lot on the south side. There wasn't as much up here on the northeast side. When you go out west, that's where the new construction really, really stakes its claim, okay? So when you get out west and far west side, we were in Helotes, northwest side, medical centers over here. You get into Lackland, which is right here, biggest Air Force base in San Antonio, and the main Air Force base that a lot of people get transferred to around here. This west side, far west side, is everything you need as far as new construction, from affordable $200,000 price point up to more luxury $700,000 to $1 million acre lots, half acre lots. You could be as far out as you want. If you went to Castroville, there's lots of growth going out that direction. Jump on 90, head in. Now, you do have to be aware of the traffic out here, like I mentioned earlier. So another big spot that's very new to this far west side, not new in the sense that it doesn't have any houses there, but they are starting to build there again, and that is Briggs Ranch. Now, Briggs Ranch is in a good location because of its ability to get multiple different places. So this is Briggs Ranch right here. This is the golf course. Okay. This is the new developments that are popping up in this area. Well, actually, this is Horizon Ridge. Super affordable neighborhood. Had somebody buy a house there. They love it. It's a cool spot. Backs up right here to the golf course too. Here's a new section right here. So you can see where all development's happening. Toll Brothers, you got David Weekley. You've got some very, very solid builders that are building right here, right on the golf course. Whenever you look up here as well, this is Briggs Ranch. I'm sorry. I said the other one was Briggs Ranch Golf Club. This is Briggs Ranch Golf Club. See development up here as well. You've got development down here. You got some affordable stuff. I say affordable, like 400,000 in this area, kind of a smaller section, but everything else in here is all like super luxury, like big custom homes. It's a gated community, guarded community, so very private. And it's a really, really cool spot that's going to have some really great new construction opportunities for you guys that want to be close to a golf course and have a high quality builder while also not being too far out of town, really. So I mean, it's further out, but you just straight down 90, go in, easy access to Lackland right here, okay, and easier access to get into downtown. It's going to be a bit of a drive, about 45 minutes or so to get to downtown with the traffic, but it's a really cool spot for all the golf course and the amenities that it has. Now let's talk real quick about Lackland, because the military is so big in San Antonio. We are Military City, USA. We have Randolph Air Force Base. We've got Fort Sam Houston. We've got Camp Bullish. You've got Lackland Air Force Base over on this west side. So let's zoom in a little bit and you can see how large Lackland Air Force Base is. Okay, this entire area here. This is the only site for U.S. Air Force and Space Force basic training. So everybody that enlists in the Air Force comes through Lackland Air Force Base. And the overall combined economic impact of Lackland specifically is $55 billion per year to San Antonio. So you can see how huge of an impact and why there's been so much growth out on this far west side, very close here to Lackland. Now there's a lot of neighborhoods to talk about out here in the far west side, but I will mention a couple just so that you can have some kind of insights into some of the bigger neighborhoods that are out here. So Alamo Ranch, of course, is one of the biggest, more established. Okay, so Alamo Ranch is kind of this general area right here, multiple different neighborhoods kind of packed into there. So we have Davis Ranch over here, closer to right here, so right by Government Canyon. You've got Callison Ranch over here in this area, big Perry Homes community, and then coming further down you've got right here, I believe this is it right here. Yeah, this is it. This is Riverstone at West Point right here. So Riverstone at West Point is D.R. Horton's largest community. I don't know why it's not showing there. They're model homes right here, but this is they have sold hundreds of homes per year in this neighborhood for a while. Now next up and lastly, we'll talk about central and downtown San Antonio. So let's head into kind of the main hub right here. So you've got three distinct sections. So you've got the Riverwalk section, which is kind of your typical classics where the Alamo is, but you've got a lot more involved than just the Alamo. Okay, so you've got San Antonio River that runs right through here. Riverwalk goes right on it. You got Hemisphere here. You've got all the things that you could think of in and around San Antonio. So let's find the Alamo. Alamo is right here. Okay, so there's the Alamo. Remember the Alamo City is what San Antonio is. All right, so you go up further north, you've got Pearl District right in here. And then you've got, all kinds of other neighborhoods that are kind of around here. Alamo Dome is right here. Tower of the Americas is right here. Henry B. Gonzalez Convention Center is right there. And this is the Hemisphere area as well right here. So Hemisphere is right here. So as you remember, as we've talked about Project Marvel a lot on this channel, this Hemisphere location is where the new San Antonio Spurs facility will be started being built this year. Okay, so as we're looking at Hemisphere, the location for the new Spurs Arena is going to be right here. Okay, so you've got Alamo Dome here. It's going to be right across from the Alamo Dome. Okay, so this is going to be the location where the new Spurs Arena is going to be, right off the highway, right downtown. It's going to be a staple of downtown San Antonio. Okay, now when you're looking at transformations and when we talk about Project Marvel, something I haven't mentioned is the transformation that the Pearl had. Okay, so it was Pearl Brewery before. It wasn't just it wasn't always a very popular spot to hang out. Okay, so the Pearl Brewery was right in here. All right, so you've got the can plant. This is the residence at Pearl. Okay, this entire area is just such a popular place for people to go and hang out. You've got the courtyard right here. You got the Hotel Emma. You've got the river that runs through right here. So you have lots of walking trails and everything. Tons of restaurants, shopping, some of the highest end restaurants in this area as well. Lots of apartments, very easy location to get over here to Broadway and head up north to everything we talked about earlier. That's from there to Alamo Heights. You've got employment here with some of these big towers, Credit Human, Jefferson Bank. Got lots of other stuff. You can see these different apartment complexes that are kind of scattered throughout there, and much more that are being built. I mean, you see all of these places. So it's a very walkable area whenever it goes to, if you're looking at downtown living, you can get in one of these apartments and be very close to everything that you need right there at the Pearl. Some of my personal favorite restaurants whenever we're looking at the Pearl, if you go in here, is Southerly is a really, really good one. You've got, let's see here, here's a good ice cream shop right here, Licks. That's a pretty good spot. Hotel Emma has supper in there, of course. There is, why they don't show up, Boiler House is awesome. I love Boiler House right here too. And over here is a pretty unique one. Where's it at? How far do we got to zoom in? I'm pretty sure it's right there. I'm looking for Cured, by the way. So Cured is a really cool spot too. Very, very different, but very, very high-end food. Lots of stuff in and around here, okay? So there's King Ranch Saddle Shop. If you're looking at Texas stuff, okay? So all these are kind of shopping areas as well. So you got a lot of stuff that are going in and around the Pearl. So it's a really great spot to go hang out, and very livable, walkable spot if you're looking at just kind of city living. Now let's look at some of the neighborhoods that are kind of further in and around downtown San Antonio. So we're going down this direction. So this whole kind of area is the main downtown hub, okay? You get south of downtown, you have Southtown, go figure, okay? And then south of that, Southtown, can't even say that, my goodness, is King William, okay? King William, you can see the style of home right here in this picture. I mean, it's very, very, very unique, okay? Because King William Historic District is right here. And then again, getting further up, this whole Southtown area, King William District, it's a higher price point to get in here, but its proximity to downtown San Antonio is its biggest draw, and its historical factor too, as well as the different types of homes that are in and around that area. Those are two of the most popular downtown livable neighborhoods. You also look across the highway, kind of behind the Alamo Dome. So if you got Dignity Hill right here, okay, and then you've also got Denver Heights, which is further south. So those are two areas I've talked about recently on this channel. Whenever you go up a little bit further north, Tobin Hill is kind of the closest to the Pearl District. So all of those areas, Tobin Hill is a little bit higher price, but you can get some affordable stuff. Dignity Hill and Denver Heights are very affordable when it comes to being closer to downtown and looking at super affordable places. All right, guys, so that's our full map tour of San Antonio. So, there's a lot to get into. There's no way I could cover every single street and every single neighborhood, but that's what we're here for. Again, the Life and SATX Home Group, we love helping people just like you kind of guide you through the process. So whether you're looking at moving here in 2 days or 2 years, we would love to be a resource for you guys, whether you're looking at buying or selling in the San Antonio area. Reach out, schedule a call with us directly. It's the best way to get a hold of us, but you can also text, call, or email us anytime, days, nights, or weekends, and we'll get back to you guys and help you with your move down here to San Antonio. We've also got a lot of content on this channel, so would love for you guys to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And on that next video that I know you're going to love, take a look at the 5 reasons why San Antonio is set to thrive in the next decade or so. Kind of dove into a lot of the big reasons that cause San Antonio to grow and some of the big projects that are coming along as well. So would love for you guys to check out that video. And until the next one, guys, we'll see you there.